Well, I decided I'd take a moment to come on here and to start this video a little early. And I'd say it's a time when got off work this afternoon after finishing some stuff from yesterday and decide I'm going to try to put a little knot or loophole into the place where the ear is supposed to go and just pull it through to where it's going to make a little place that we come down and make the knot go in. And I say, kind of got to straighten this out a bit, try to get it so it's all just going to work and finally get it through the rest of the way. And I've already demonstrated in the past how I turn these things out using the knitting needle after they're sewn from the inside, turn them to the outside and make them show from the outside. But I tell you, when it comes down to it, there's other things that come along, and just wanted to demonstrate to you how we're going to sew closed the little hole that goes into this ear, just to kind of keep it flat, to keep stuffing from going into it and making it 3D or turning out as a lump or anything like that. So that's how this little work makes its way along us, and all things, all things make it work right through. See how we just do little work to make things come and make things go. I say, getting back to my school cafeteria job was great today. We had the dish machine working again. That was good. I was back out in the cafeteria just picking up trays from the students again, from where they kind of leave them on certain cards that we come to get them off of. I say, oh, the little strange things that can happen in life. I've been getting all kinds of followers and likes to my Instagram page, and funny how I keep getting notifications of more follows, but sometimes look back and see that I still have same number of followers. I mean, I've already got 100 on my Instagram and about to have 300 on my Facebook. And one little thing I had forgotten was that there was one little ad on there that I decided to run for 10 days. So, strange little things have happened as far as that goes. There's probably going to be some more. I'm going to have to pay for my advertising fee because I'd say the advertising fee is going to be pretty large for all the interactions I was able to get. So that's just worked the way it could for me for the time being. And just to let y'all know, I have a cup of coffee brewing over there, so might have to go check on it in a little bit, see if it's ready. So we come along, make this little way where we sew the ear on tight, and there was that one little loose thread in there we had to break out. Come on and do a little thing where we're going to work along, work along, work along, and oh, I say work this way, it just has its way to see us all doing strange little things of life where all the time, all the way, we just look through old times of troubles in life and come down to where we see a little teddy bear, what it comes out to be when it comes through the denim, make a little blue bear. All this time, we're going to see things come out a little strange now and then, and just a little work shell tell us all what we're going to see and know for ourselves and what we're going to learn in life. Oh, I say, things are just happening nowadays, and I've been getting the news about what went on in Israel over the past couple of days. It was just horrible event, especially the fact that while they were celebrating a holiday, they had all this trouble come upon them. And I tell you, it's just one of those horror stories we come across in life where it can be a little too much sometimes and tell us things that can show us the little horrors of the world. And for such a time as a holiday as they were celebrating, it was just not a good time to have to face that kind of trouble. I think I'm going to go over and check my cup of coffee now. And yes, it was ready. I'll tell you all little things we see happen now and then. Horrible events take place, and while somebody was celebrating themselves a holiday, little horror overtook them. And I sometimes think stories, they just kind of say too much to us and make us think. Oh, the times. Oh, the times we all just see the way life gets to us and makes us all see how it all comes away where it gets a little rough now and then to us, just to see how we get through the light of day and have the things we go through in life. And oh well, oh, times in life we just see things and learn things and know things. They can all just have little skepticisms to us and kind of tell us all the little ways we do that are strange to us. And over this world, we just know that there's only one light, and that is Jesus. And of all things, I say that Israel was also the nation where Jesus grew up, and we know he was born in Bethlehem. He grew up in Nazareth and died on a hill near Jerusalem. It was all just things that took place to us. And when he was crucified, he rose again on the third day. I say that there's a lot to learn in life as far as how just the little things can go about us. We know that there's only one God, and in the Old Testament it was always known as the God of Israel. In the Old Testament he was called Jehovah. And even in some religions, he's like Judaism and Islam, in Judaism he's still called Jehovah today, but in Islam he's called Allah. We know that there's that group that called Hamas or something like that took over the event. They were kind of a terrorist group, and I just watched a video about just all the rumors and gossip that's been going on, but it was their plan all along. I heard they had been planning this out for months, and it's a horrible way to think and a horrible thing to think about. But we know that sometimes we got little reasons in our life why we got to memorialize things, learn to consider other people and their losses, because it's a time when we have to refrain from our negativity and kind of let our thoughts be in control and tell us all that we know there's only one God and one mediator between God and man. And I'd say, for one thing, that, well, I found one over here. Thought I had lost a knitting needle that I needed to stuff this, but we know that we got a little time here to put things away and put things to work, and I say this little teddy bear is just going to be one little sign, because we know that teddy bears were often Christmas gifts back in the days. And since we're working on one, I got a little story to tell you. They were named after Teddy Roosevelt. Back when Teddy Roosevelt was president, he was out hunting, and there was this black bear that was out there, and he refused to shoot the bear, so people started making these little stuffed bears and calling them Teddy's Bears after Teddy Roosevelt, and that's how they just became the new name and have kind of been a name for him ever since, because we know that for the fact that he spared the life of one, they kind of gave him a name after many others. And so, as we go along this, got little ways to stuff further. And I forgot to tell you all what I've already demonstrated here is how I have sewn in that little place for the eye there. Forgot to mention that. But sometimes with me, I get to talking and forget to show you all just little steps I need to do and things. And that's just a moment where there's just so much to say and to learn and to do. And I tell you all that we find out that there's a lot of work in our lives and a lot of work in our hands. We'll see that we know our boundaries in life and boundaries of God, and all the places where He gives us boundary lines, the fallen pleasant places, like He mentions in Psalms chapter 16, the little ways that we have a delightful inheritance, and how we know according to that we will have eternal pleasures at His right hand. It's just the things that, and I remember when my great-grandmother was laying on her deathbed, I read that psalm to her right there at the hospital. So it was just something I read just to kind of like get a little thought out and get a little word out, and kind of say that we know that times are tough to us and times are rough to us, but she was ready. She was like 95 years old and probably just a few weeks short of being 96, so she had lived a long life, and this was back in the year 2000. So we know it's kind of come a long way, and we've been a long way, and we've seen a long way, but we know that God has always given us good life and good memories, and There's certain people we know will always remember them just for who they are and what they do and where they were with us and all the life they provided to us and all the things that they were to us in life and making little good memories to us and showing us who we are and what we do and what will be all the rest of our lives and for eternity. And that's just what we find out, you know. There's people that have gone on to heaven before us, and we know that they shine down from us along the way, and they're like little angels that make their way to us in the dark and in the light and show us all that they watch over us each step of the way we take on earth, and will always be remembered by us and who we are and what we do, because I say that angels in heaven are a testimony unto us. They shall brighten us our days and make our nights to the best of us, to know who we are, what we're going to do, what we're going to be. Oh, the blessedness of the Lord in heaven. And we know that from God our Heavenly Father, blessed angels came. They always brought little tidings to us and brought us old tidings of comfort and joy, and brought us lots of things that in our lives we'd have never known had we not looked out for ourselves, had God not looked out for us. So we kind of see that they're just things that pass us through, see us through, make us all find out that there's a lot of good in our lives for the best of us, for who we are and what we know. I don't know how life is going to go for all of us in the future, but one thing I know for sure is we have a hope in a better eternity, and God is good. As of now, you see these little tabs that are in the back on the behind of the bear. Decide at this moment just to kind of sew along here and just kind of attach them up to make them so they're going to be the best they can be to make the bear come out as good as it needs to be for future shows, future ambition, future work. And I'd say, of all things, we're going to work our way about this even harder and longer and make it where it's going to be a good little thing to see for us and make it so we're going to go on here and have little happy times with our lives. And so, peace be to all things, I say. Blessed be the child of all things. And oh, this little time I'm sewing up this little patch to get a little work done inside the teddy bear and get him all special. Think about how there was that old stuff back in the 80s and 90s, that those cookies called Teddy Grahams. They were kind of like made from the same way as graham crackers, except they were little bite-sized teddy bears, you know, and they had a theme song on their commercial that was like what I learned sometime later to be the tune to that Elvis song called Teddy Bear. And it was just an old commercial that brought a lot of faith and life into us, making us see that we had a ways of giving in life to know what happens and all the things we have to say or do to be out there where we please others and, you know, see how bright a day others can be and make our ways just shine up upon us. Oh, I say, bears can be special. I've made a lot of them out of wood and put a little figure names on them and put a lot of words I burnt into them just to kind of share a little work as far as it just came along, and how that there was just some things I made them for just to kind of be of other people's little sentiments and treasures in life. And we're gonna work our way about a little sewing project, and now kind of come along to where we're going to stitch in a little more, see how we can kind of make the teddy bear look its best for all of us, and make it where it's going to be all done here in a moment or two and finally come down to the finish line. It rained today as I was going out to work, so didn't really think this would be a good day to try to go outside and do a video, but that suited me fine. Suited me fine. I say that we have a little places even here in the basement where we can do a little work and do a little good time like what we do, and then come to think of it, this may not be the best that a bear has ever come out, but probably I'd say my best. At least for me it is. It was probably the best I could do for one, but you know, it's kind of how it's going to be when it comes to things in life. You see, and there's going to be other things I'm going to work on later on in life too, just to try to get things a little better now and then. So this type of work is the best it can be for me, and a lot of trial and error comes along sometimes, but we work our way about it, and sometimes we learn and we do better the next time. So I just appreciate the fact that you all come on just to watch me sew or watch me carve or whatever, and listen to me chat and all the things I have to say. If it so interests you to subscribe to this channel and keep up with my videos, I would appreciate if you would hit the subscribe button, and that you keep up further, and that you kind of continue to watch more. And thank you for coming on. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying updated. And take care and be safe.